Sri Sai Sachirata, Chapter 11, title Sai as Sagun Brahman, Dr. Pandit's Worship, Haji Siddiq Falke, and Control over the Elements. Let us now in this chapter describe the manifested that is Sagun Brahman Sai, how he was worshipped, and how he controlled the elements. Sai as Sagun Brahman. There are two aspects of God or Brahman. One, the unmanifested or Nirgun, and the second, the manifested or Sagun. The Nirgun is formless, while the Sagun is with form, though both denote the same Brahman. Some prefer to worship the former, while some the latter. As stated in Gita, chapter 12, the worship of the latter is easy and preferable. As man has got a form, body, and senses, etc., it is natural and easy for him to worship a god with form. Our love and devotion do not develop unless we worship Sagun Brahman for a certain period of time, and as we advance, it leads us to worship, that is, meditation on Nirgun Brahman. So let us start with Sagun worship. Image, altar, fire, light, sun, water, Brahman are the 7 objects of worship, but Sadguru is better than all these. Let us, on this occasion, bring our minds to the form of Sai, who was non-attachment incarnate and who was a resting place for his wholehearted devotees. Our faith in his words is seat of asan, and our sankalp, that is, determination to start and finish the puja, is the abandonment of all our desires. Some say that Sai was the Bhagavad Bhakta, that is, devotee of the Lord. Others say that he was a Mahabhagavat, that is, a great devotee, but to us he is God incarnate. He was extremely forgiving, never irritable, straight, soft, tolerant, and content beyond compassion. Though he looked embodied, that is, having the form, he was really disembodied, emotionless, unattached, and internally free. The Ganges, on its way to the sea, cools and refreshes the creatures affected with heat, gives life to the crops and trees, and quenches the thirst of many. Similarly, saints, that is, souls like Sai, while they live their own life, give solace and comfort to all. Lord Krishna has said that the saint is my soul, my living image. I am he, and he is my pure form, that is, being. This indescribable Shakti or power of God, known as pure existence, knowledge, and bliss, incarnated in the form of Sai in Shirdi. The Shruti in Taittiriya Upanishad describes Brahman as bliss. This we read or hear daily in the books, but the devout people experience this Brahman or bliss in Shirdi. Baba, the support of all, required no prop or support, that is, asan, from anybody. He always used a piece of sackcloth for his seat, which was covered with a small beautiful bed by his bhaktas, and had a bolster placed by them as the rest to his back. Baba respected the feelings of his devotees and allowed them to worship as they liked. Some waved chamra or the fan before him, some played on musical instruments, some washed his hands and feet, some others applied scent and chandan, some gave betel nut with leaves and other things, and some others offered naivedya. Though he looked like living in Shirdi, he was present everywhere. This all-pervasiveness of him was daily experienced by his devotees. Our humble prostration to this all-pervasive Sadguru. Dr. Pandit's worship. One Dr. Pandit, a friend of Tatya Sahib Nulkar, once came to Shirdi for Baba's darshana. After saluting Baba, he stayed in masjid for some time. Baba asked him to go to Dada Bhat Kelkar. He went to Dada Bhat, by whom he was well received. Then Dada Bhat left his house for puja and Dr. Pandit accompanied him. Nobody until then dared to apply sandal paste to Baba's forehead. Only Mahalsapati used to apply it to his throat. But this simple-hearted devotee, Dr. Pandit, took Dada Bhat's dish containing puja materials and taking sandal paste out of it, drew a tripundra, that is, 3 horizontal lines on Baba's forehead. To the surprise of all, Baba kept silent without uttering a single word. Then Dada Bhat that evening asked Baba, "How is it that though you object to the sandal paste being applied by others to your forehead, but you allowed Dr. Pandit to do so?" Baba replied that Dr. Pandit believed him to be the same as his guru, Raghunath Maharaja of Dopeshwar, known as Kaka Puranik, and he applied the paste to his forehead, as he was doing to his guru. Hence, he could not object. On inquiry, Dr. Pandit told Dadabhad that he took Baba as his guru Kaka Puranik, and hence he marked the Tripundra on Baba's forehead as he did on his guru's head. Though Baba allowed the devotees to worship him as they pleased, still sometimes he acted in a strange way. Sometimes he threw away the puja dish and was wrath incarnate. Then who could approach him? Though he seemed to shake with anger and his eyes rolled round and round, red in color, still he was internally a stream of affection and motherly love. Immediately he called out his devotees and said that he can never be angry with his devotees, and if mothers kicked their children and if the sea turned back the rivers, he would never neglect the devotees' welfare. That he, the slave of his devotees, always stood by them and responded to them whenever they called upon him, and he always longed for their love. Haji Siddiq Falke. There was no knowing when Baba would accept a devotee. That depended on his sweet will. Siddiq Falke's story is to the point. One Mohammedan gentleman by the name Siddiq Falke of Kalyan, after making a pilgrimage to Makkah and Medina, came to Shirdi. He lived in Chawdi, facing north, and sat in the open courtyard of the masjid. For 9 months, Baba ignored him and did not allow him to step into the masjid. Falke felt much disconsolate and did not know what to do. Somebody advised him not to be disappointed, but to try approach Baba through Shama, that is Madhavrao Deshpande, a close and intimate devotee of Baba. He told him that as they approached the god Shiva through the servant and devotee Nandi, so Baba should be approached through Shama. Falke liked the idea and implored Shama to intercede for him. Shama agreed and on a convenient occasion spoke to Baba about him thus: Baba, why don't you allow the old Haji to step into the masjid? While so many persons freely come and go after taking your darshan, why not bless him at once? Baba replied, Shama, you are too young to understand things. If the fakir, that is Allah, does not allow, what can I do? Without his grace, who will climb to the masjid? Well, go to him and ask him whether he will come to the narrow footpath near Barvi well. Shama went and returned with an affirmative answer. Again Baba said to Shama, ask him whether he is willing to pay me the sum of 40,000 rupees in 4 installments. Shama went and returned with an answer that he was willing to pay even 40 lakhs. Again Baba said to Shama, we are going to butcher a goat in masjid, so ask him whether he would like to have mutton, haunch and testicles of the goat. Shama returned with the answer that Haji would be happy to receive a small crumb of Baba's kolamba, that is mud pot. Hearing this, Baba got excited and with his hands threw away the earthen jars and kolamba and straightway advanced to Haji and lifting his kafni up with his hands and said, why do you brag and fancy yourself great and pose yourself as an old Haji? Do you read Quran like this? You are proud of your pilgrimage to Makkah, but you do not know me. Being thus scolded, the Haji was confounded. Baba then went back to masjid, purchased a few baskets of mangoes and sent them to the Haji. Then again, Baba went to the Haji and taking out rupees 55 from his pocket, gave them to the Haji. From that time, Baba loved the Haji, invited him for meals, and the Haji thereafter came into masjid whenever he liked. Baba gave him at times some rupees, and thus the Haji was enlisted in Baba's darbar. Baba's control over the elements. We shall close this chapter after describing 2 incidents showing Baba's control over the elements. Once at evening time, there was a terrible storm in Shirdi. The sky was overcast with thick black clouds. The winds began to flow forcibly. The clouds roared, and the lightning began to flash, and the rains began to descend in torrents. In a short time, the whole place was flooded with water. All the creatures, birds, beasts, and men got terribly frightened, and they all flocked to masjid for shelter. There are many local deities in Shirdi, but none of them came to their help. So all prayed to Baba, their god, who was fond of their devotion, and intercede and quell the storm. Baba was much moved. He came out and, standing at the edge of the masjid, addressed the storm in a loud and thunderous voice. Stop! Stop your fury and calm down. In a few minutes the rain subsided, the wind ceased to blow, and the storm came to a stop. Then the moon rose in the sky, and the people then went back to home well pleased. Second, on another occasion at noon, the fire in Dhuni began to burn brightly. Its flames were seen to be reaching the rafters above. The people who were sitting in the masjid did not know what to do. They dared not ask Baba to pour water or do anything to quench the flames. But Baba soon came to realize what was happening. He took up his satka, that is short stick, and dashed it against the pillar in front, saying, Get down, be calm. At each stroke of satka, the flames began to lower and slow down, and in few minutes the dhuni began to calm down and became normal. This is our sign, an incarnation of God. He will bless any man who will prostrate and surrender himself to him. He who will read the stories of this chapter daily with faith and devotion will soon be free from all calamities. Not only this, but always attached and devoted to Sai, he will get very soon God vision. All his desires will be fulfilled, and being ultimately desireless, he will attain the Supreme. Amen. Bow to Shri Sai, peace be to all. Om Sai Ram.